Hey everyone, you're listening to 4Player Podcast, a weekly live show about video games. We hope you'll stick around for another year of gaming discussion, fantasy critic hijinks, and of course, general shenanigans here at 4Player. Before we start this episode, we want to send a thank you out to everyone who listens and give a quick welcome to any newbies. I'll try to keep this short because this is, and always will be, an ad-free show. We've been at this since 2008, so if you like what we do, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred podcast service. Join us in our Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, throw us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. We record these episodes live every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out, and episodes hit podcast services on Friday morning. You can find all the links you need at 4playernetwork.com. But enough about that, let's get started. Welcome to this stupid podcast, as Brad just put it. It's 4Player Podcast, episode 835 or something. It's May 22nd, 2025. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined, as always, by Brad Simons.
Hello.
Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
Hey, you're stepping on my hello.
I don't know. Nick seemed unimpressed, so I had to keep going.
Shut up, Brad. I'm trying to say hello. Hello.
Hello. And Christopher Davis.
I'm also here. Hello.
Down one gallbladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down one organ. We lost an organ between the lines.
We've lost him.
I don't know how to tell you this, guys. Gallbladders, they're dropping like flies.
That was an experience. You know,
At least you had the fortitude. At least you had the fortitude to like try to nip it in the bud and get to it before it became a problem.
Yeah, yes. Most of us don't have surgery for funsies, Chris Davis.
Well, but I assume you had suspicions that it was about to become a problem. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done that.
Well, I had to go to a follow-up ultrasound for my liver, and
they're like, "You got gallstones."
Yeah, they saw the sludge was in my gallbladder, so I went and did a 6-month follow-up. And the tech that was running the ultrasound said, "You have an innumerable amount of gallstones."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the way to do it, man. Just like build them up over the years, and then you get rid of them all at one time. Just cut it out, throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Our situation was like all of that except minus the 6-month follow-up. It was oh my god, I'm in just so much pain, but I really don't want to go to the emergency room. And then it's like, okay, this is getting bad, we need to go to the emergency room. And then they did an ultrasound, and then like 10 minutes later they're like, we're gonna take your gallbladder out. That was our evening when that happened. So
that is how it happens.
Surprise surgery is never fun.
Most gallbladder surgery happens like this.
But you know that thing when obviously most people don't want to go to the hospital, and so everyone's like, I think I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, 100%. But also just like, oh, this is gonna ruin my weekend. Please, that's probably fine. It's probably fine. And then you're finally
ruin my financial stability forever.
Yeah, that's the reality.
That's the scariest part for me. I wasn't in any pain at all at any point until surgery, and I really wasn't in any pain afterwards. But I now understand drugs and addiction.
He's finally done drugs, guy.
I've done drugs. Yeah, the doctor gave me drugs.
Hey, these opiates are pretty cool.
He's never taken a Tylenol in his life.
Brad was trying real hard to get Chris Davis to show up for the podcast on Tuesday, high as a kite.
It was annoying a little bit that we couldn't have a good time with drugged up Chris Davis. Like it was Nick has become a little bit of a softie in recent years, and he's like, "Oh, it's okay, Chris Davis, you take care of yourself."
I'm catching more strays.
I mean, come on! This was our opportunity to talk to drugged up Chris Davis. That felt weird.
Yeah, that did feel weird, right? He's not saying Davis.
I was about to cheer a little bit, and I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna follow up."
Yeah.
It would have been. It would have been like. It would have been a good time. This motherfucker was at home beaten bosses in Expedition 33 talking about his delayed reactions. Motherfucker, you don't have delayed reactions in in-game boss fights of Expedition 33.
That is a game that will whoop your ass if you have delayed reactions.
Yes, that's true.
That sounds
anyways,
but
guys,
who said I was even reacting? Because I was building my characters right.
What were you abusing shields?
No,
I mean, that's the world I'm in. After turn 1, everybody has 9 shields in my game.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's intense. Okay,
nah, you don't need shields. You just need to have one of your characters die, cause a bunch of buffs to spawn to your other characters, have them immediately resurrect, and then have Mael go into virtuous mode, and deal like 80 million damage in one hit, and you win.
Dude, sometimes I'm not as far as you guys are in that game. But I am still quite far, and I'm constantly getting pictos that I'm like, I read the description, I'm like, holy shit, really? Like, this is just something I can equip and learn, and then equip on all of my characters if I so please.
But the greatest thing is that they stack. There's no scenario in which they do not work with one another.
No, it's a game about just like the joys of like properly equipping your characters and then watching you take damage and then all of a sudden just seeing all these fucking buffs appear. It's
fill the fucking screen. It's glorious.
Dude, I got hit. Yeah. I got hit by a boss, and all of a sudden, you just see the entire bottom right corner of my screen just fill up with like lists of like buffs, and I was like, "Oh fuck,
I love it.
That's the shit. That's the sauce."
I got 3
right
columns the other day.
Yeah.
3 columns of buffs.
It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. If you're watching us live, it is this is a Thursday night. We usually record these bitches on Tuesday, but we delayed it a couple days. We're going to talk about Doom: The Dark Ages. We're going to talk about Skin Deep, which is a game we mentioned a few weeks ago that we're finally going to hear from Krispy about, which looks exciting. And Brad, I think.
What about my game, Nick?
Blades of Fire?
Right? That sounds like a second segment game to me, if I'm being honest.
Blades of Fire, Blade of Fires. Let me tell you, remember Lords of Shadows?
Yeah,
Lord of Shadows?
Don't forget Layers of Fear and Layer of Fear.
Wait, is there a Layer of Fear and Layers of Fear? Is that really a thing?
Mercury Steam has been doing this shit for a long time, and they can't seem to figure out a good title. Let me tell you.
That is true. That is in fact true. In fact, maybe their best title was a Metroid game.
Blades of Darkness.
But
no, Metroid Dread was not their title. That existed in the Metroid universe for a long time.
The best
Mercury
game
Steam.
They've developed.
You beat me to it. The punchline was going to be, but I don't think they came up with that name.
Yeah,
so.
Metroid Dread was in the cooker for a long time. They were gifted the beautiful name Metroid Dread. Yeah. I can't even. So
before we
what it would have been called.
Before we jump into it, I think we're gonna do. This is gonna be a 1-segment show. So you don't have to worry about being cut for the second segment right now, Brad, which is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. In fact, I might even let you go first tonight.
You
Fuck
won't
Doom.
let me go first.
Maybe
I agree.
Will.
Fuck
whoa,
Doom,
whoa! Those words there, Nick. Apologize.
Hey, I'm enjoying Doom. That is not any reflection as to how I actually feel about Doom. I'm just trying to make Brad feel better about his game that he's.
You don't need to make Doom feel bad. Doom did nothing wrong.
So I sent it back, dude. I am like 99% sure that I gamefly Doom Eternal back in the day, and this might be in Discord. Carlos had already finished it, and he's like, "Dog, it sucks." And I'm like, "Okay," and I sent it back immediately without playing a second of it. And I did that with the new Doom as well.
But is that because is that because it's part of the bit, and you're just you're taking?
No, it's because
Carlos...
I trust Carlos.
But does Carlos really think it's trash?
When it comes to Doom and when it comes to shooters, I trust Carlos. Well, part of it was because I have a lot to play, also, and I'm also game playing like fucking Mario Kart or whatever, so I gotta send some shit back. I mean, I ain't
you never even
$80 games.
No shade to Carlos, but he is a walking bit sometimes, so it's kind of hard for me to sometimes tell when he says
I know when
trash,
he's feeling.
I'm not certain I believe that Carlos is actually married. I think this has been a ploy for years.
It's all lies. Look,
I mean,
some
of us have met his wife.
We have met
his wife. A really nice person.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She really is.
She's
damn. Look. He played Doom: The Dark Ages and he finished it, right?
Yeah.
It can't be that bad.
No, he hate played it.
I guess that's just a concept. This is a concept I don't understand. I don't hate play anything.
Bullshit,
if I hate something,
dude.
I put that
How
shit
many
down.
Japanese games did you play last year?
Fuck off with that. That
you
is
hate
not
finished
true.
metaphor. I remember you at the end of metaphor.
Play a lot.
You were like, "Fuck this game! I can't beat this boss. Fuck this game! I just want to play Indiana Jones."
That is not at all what I said. Anyways, guys, anything we need to cover before we jump into it? Here, let me just say this.
Jump into Blades of Fire, you mean?
Yeah. Hold on. Yes, before we start with Blades of Fire, I just want to a little bit of housekeeping because I mentioned this at the end of the show last week, I think, but guys, if you're in our Discord, which you should be at discord.gg/4player, I've set up a recurring calendar event for all of our podcast streams or whatever. If you like to watch the shows live and you want an automatic notification when we go live for the podcast, go to the calendar and click the subscribe to our recurring event or whatever. We appreciate it, and it will give you an automatic notification at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays or Thursday, whatever day we end up recording shows, let you know that we're live. I'm still going to post the announcement or whatever, but just in case I forget or whatever, you'll get the alert in Discord. So,
and also to go along with that, as I've been preaching, Twitch has begun their culling of libraries, and thanks to the help of the community, I was able to save 280 gigs worth of files, which amounts to 1,200 highlights.
Giggity dog.
All with Chris
anything
Davis
good?
Actually, saved his own legacy.
Well, no, there was a bunch that I did purposely save because regardless, like I got a bunch of Hide and Manti stuff.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I wasn't even thinking about my dogs.
Yeah.
Neither was I, but I do appreciate that's nice.
Oh,
damn.
Dang, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shit.
Not being very nice.
It just got real somber in here. Anyways, let's pick things up a bit, shall we? And Brad, your time has come.
I mean, did you get any clips of Manti? Two of my dogs died.
I got Manti.
No,
there's some Manti clips.
I'm just kidding.
I thought he said Hide and Manti.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Blades of Fire, the new game from Mercury Steam. You heard of Mercury Steam?
Oh, we have.
Here we go.
Steam and Konami. They ruined my favorite franchise. Did you know that that Koji Igarashi was working on Symphony of the Night 2 and they canceled it and greenlit this other fucking Castlevania game made by Mercury Steam, the creators of Jericho and Scrapland.
Wow,
at the
that
time.
Sounds crazy.
They were cheap.
Why is it every time this character in this game pulls out his sword, it looks like a lightsaber for a half second, for like a green lightsaber?
It's just showing that the durability or whatever is.
Okay.
It's just green for a second. This is Blades of Fire, the new game from Mercury Steam, creators of Metroid Dread. So
a good video game, by the way. That's a good ass video game.
Yeah, Metroid Dread is good. Slightly overglazed, but it is very good. The thing is, a long time ago, before they were even Mercury Steam, the people who formed Mercury Steam came from a studio called, I don't remember, but they made this game called Blade of Darkness. Blades of Darkness.
Somebody looked that up in chat.
AKA Severance Blades of Darkness. Blade of Darkness. Blade of Darkness.
Blade of Darkness.
Blades of Darkness. Yeah, they've always been bad at titles. And this feels like kind of a spiritual successor to that. That was sort of like mostly an action game, action RPG. I don't know what you really call them back then. Early 2000s games weren't that complex, but it did have a really cool like combat system with like positional based like slashes. Like you were hitting certain body parts and slicing them off and like swinging your weapon from like different directions to cause different types of severances or whatnot. And Rebel Axe Studios, thanks Jay Hit. Yeah, they're the former Mercury Steam studio. Anyways, This definitely feels like a spiritual successor to that. And now like the title Blade of Fire makes sense. It's equally generic, but instead of darkness, we got fire. And
this seems more generic than
this
Blade
is
of
a
Darkness.
Souls like. Well, I guess fire is more generic than darkness, I suppose. But it's just less cool of a word. Anyways, this is like a Souls like game about crafting weapons, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe they're cooking a little bit. I think this is like this is certainly like a hidden. This has hidden gem all over it, written all over it. You know, this is a game that's it's scoring in the 70s. But if you look at the reviews, they're all like happy 7s. We've talked about this before, right? There's sad 7s and then there's happy 7s. Happy 7s are like, oh, I didn't expect this game to like be titillating at all. I mean, it's still a 7, but like I'm fucking pleased as punch. And then there's like the 7s of like, oh, I wanted this game to be a 9 and it's just a 7, like a sad 7. This is not a sad 7. This is a happy 7.
The happy 7. Oh, it's a happy 7.
Yeah.
Wait, what was
7?
What was Days Gone, Brad? Was that a happy 7?
Well, that was a depressed 7 because I think everyone who played it thought it should have been scored higher. Which you've seen. Have we talked about it? That the remaster is actually scored quite a bit higher than the original game, and I think it's because of that narrative that
it was tempered,
people actually like this game.
Huh? At first, it was a lot higher, and now it's like an 81 or something. So it's still pretty.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where it was. That's where it was.
Oh, I thought it was like.
But I mean, that's like a full 10 points higher than the original. No, it was never really that high. At least not for more than a couple hours. But I'm saying like when most remasters go down, like sometimes significantly. Look at the Onimusha one. Jeez. Anyways. It's like a Souls-like, but like it has a pretty unique combat system that feels surprisingly good. All 4 face buttons are different directional like swipes, right? So if you hit like circle, you're swiping from the right. If you hit like triangle, you're swiping high, and you can also charge those to do charge hits. If you're pressing X, you're doing like a low attack or like a backing up attack. And by the way, what I'm doing here is me trying to forge a weapon. They put like this whole system of actually forging your blades and stuff in this game, and it's very weirdly like it's like this whole mini game that I still have not figured out. And I probably do this for the next 5 minutes. So see if you can help me.
It almost looks like it's like I don't know. This is.
I'm trying to line up all the metals with the line of the blade or something. I don't honestly. It's insane. Like that they put this much effort into like this mini game. And I'm really not understanding the controls for this. I didn't understand it the first time I played it, and then I recorded footage and I thought I kind of understood it, but then I got to this and I'm like, this is hard. Anyways. I can't even begin to explain the controls for this. It's just
I was about to say I'm looking at this and I'm lost.
It's funky. But all this to say, like they're putting a lot of emphasis on like the forging of the weapon. Like you're getting like blueprints, and you're like everything in the game like drops different materials, and it's all about like forging these weapons, and you name your weapon and you customize all aspects of it, and that's your fucking blade, except it has a durability and it only lasts a certain amount of time, and then you got to make other weapons, and certain enemies are good at.
So do all of your like stats that you like have to kind of like focus on and worry about in the game lie in your weapons, or are there also like character stats as well?
No, it's just your weapons, I believe. I don't think you level up otherwise. It's just your different like weapon stats, but like you're forging like how much, because it's a Souls like kind of game, and there's like a whole stamina system, and there's like you're blocking and parrying and there's when I say there's like positional based damage, it's cool because like you'll lock onto an enemy, and depending on like the weapon type you have or even the weapon mode, because you could have like a spear and like swing it around, or you could switch to a mode where it's more of like a piercing. But like depending on like the level of the weapon, how worn down it is, like sort of the stance you're in, like you'll see different parts of the body like highlight of like the weapon is not effective against like the whole chest area, maybe because of like he's got a certain kind of armor, and it'll show up as red, right? So when you have these positional based strikes, of like if I hit circle, I swipe from the right, that's because like you might see when you're locked on that his arms are like his weak point. like where because of the armor he's wearing, he's like very resistant to your damage everywhere but the arm. So you're literally swiping from the right because you're trying to hit him in the arm so you can actually do like significantly more damage and get your kill. It's like it sounds a little weird and clunky at first, but like it succeeds in just feeling really good when you do hit something. I mean, I don't know. I didn't name my weapon. I kind of forgot. Maybe some sort of hammer thing. I'm gonna go hit some stuff with it.
When you say name your weapon, are you like actually like typing in a name for
you can name your weapon. Yeah.
You can name your weapon like John, like whatever the fuck. Okay.
Absolutely. Is that what you name? Is that what you name?
No.
Weapon,
Just,
Nick?
no,
John?
definitely no.
What's the significance of this man, John?
John
no
the
significance. John. No significance there.
Okay. And look, I did only play the demo, but the demo is the full, like it is this from the start of the game, and that your progress carries over. So I essentially play like the start of the game.
You've only played the demo over there? I thought you've been streaming that.
I played like the first couple hours of the fucking game. Because that's what the demo is. It's the start of the game.
Are you going to play the full game, you think?
I think I have it coming from GameFly. I don't know. Maybe time. Like the Switch 2 is about to come out, and there's other stuff I'm playing.
You sent back Doom: The Dark Ages so you could play a Mercury Steam game.
But like Doom just seemed like more Doom. I mean, not even more Doom, just like Doom. Like this was my problem with the
We'll talk
about it. I just kind of want classic Doom. Anyways. So I don't know. I'm just here to say that like I went in this. I streamed this. If you want to watch me play this, I did stream the demo. I strum it. And, I was kind of playing it because I really just wanted to rant about Mercury Steam. And I found myself kind of like pleasantly satisfied with the experience. And I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not doing anything for you guys. So I don't.
No. Is it like when you say it's like a hard 7, a happy 7?
Happy 7.
Is it a hard 7 as opposed to a flaccid 7? Is it like a Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning 7?
What is? Yeah.
Noise?
What you keep beating the fucking? I mean, did you like Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah, I kind of did. I thought it was a janky, weird little 7, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I think this is a janky, weird little 7. I think this is gonna be like I think you're gonna see this on like hidden gems lists in 10 years.
This is a Jimmy. You're saying this is Jimmy. It's a Jimmy.
I think it might be a Jimmy. And like the scores are, I expected worse. Honestly, they're pretty decent. I mean, it basically scored what Days Gone scored.
Days Gone.
And that's on his favorite games of all time. So maybe Nick plays this, and it's his new number 10 game of all time. Is that
responsible, Nicholas?
Nick, what if you play this and it's your new number 10 favorite game of all time?
Look.
Well, it's like fantasy. I don't think it will be.
Exactly.
That has not. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's fancy. It's just, oh god, I can't. I'm just gonna dig myself a deeper hole. I'm just saying.
Stop. The reason you think it can't even be possible is because it's fantasy.
There are so many fake ass narratives that you've introduced about me and my tastes in certain things that I can't even. It's like I just can't get out of it.
Can I ask you something? Do you think this has potential to be one of your favorite games of all time?
No.
Why not?
I'm just kidding. It could be. Honestly, the thing.
Kidding. You're not kidding.
It actually looks pretty fun. Like combat wise, looks pretty fun. I mean, you haven't said anything about like the thing like. This is gonna sound so Nick of me to ask, I guess, but like, how's the story? Those are the things I care a lot about.
I don't know. Like it's funnier. Like it's sillier than maybe you'd expect. So I know you're out, but I'm saying like it's not like it is like they're going for it, Like, Mercury Steam isn't good at this stuff. So like I'm not gonna like shit on like the story or anything. I kind of don't care, mostly because all the characters look stupid, and I know that's not fair. But like, make a game where the characters don't look so stupid.
They do look stupid.
Like, there's do you have an NPC that's always with you, but you can just like hold a button to make him go back to camp, And like when he's with you, he's like always fucking talking, and you're opening up dialogue trees and talking about the story with him and stuff. And he's like saying things like banter, and he's like kind of like comic relief, maybe, I suppose.
Which you like in a lot of games.
Yeah, but he sucks. So I just pressed the button that made him go away.
See?
It's like, you're ruining my Souls-like weapon game. Please stop it.
Look,
and it's so funny because like the game is pretty aware of the fact that you could just make him disappear, I feel like. And every time you summon him, when you do need him as a story thing, he seems like kind of bothered by it. Like, what do you know, like you're grabbing him out because you just summon him with your hammer. It's like, there's like his hammer is magical. Yeah, some shit like that. And he seems like he's in the middle of shit every time you do it.
Can I just say, like, the thing that's preventing me from saying that this could be like on my top 10 games of all time has nothing to do with fantasy. It has everything to do with everything else you're saying. Days Gone made it onto my top 10 because, in my opinion, it was the whole package. The story, the characters, the gameplay.
You've not even played this game. I never care about stories. You might love the story.
Moving on.
This I like 1,000 times resist.
Look, you know what?
He died for a second.
You might be right, but at the same time, like, I would maybe be more like open to the idea of like giving this an honest to God try if I didn't feel like there were like 50 other games in line for me to also take a stab at. So I don't know. I feel like I'm so overwhelmed right now that like I just know this ain't it.
In all fairness, it's kind of funny that we're talking about a game that looks like this, and Nick's saying like, "Yeah, I may not have time for that," and we're like, "I knew it." Nick's racist, like racist against fantasy. He doesn't even like the 7 slop. He's a fucking racist.
But here's the thing, that's the difference, right? Because I know Krispy's looking at this and he's like, "Oh," because that's how we are built.
I don't like the part of me that likes this.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know there's some shame there, and I agree. I'm the same way. But Nick not only doesn't feel that shame, I don't even think he feels it. Anything for this.
Anything.
I don't think he can feel
this. I thought that sentence ended with he doesn't feel anything, and I was like, damn.
I bet he wouldn't even want a sword if you offered it to him.
Look, I think, we just all got different things that make us go, "Oh, sick." Like, and if for Nick, that's like dudes on motorcycles and zombies, and he's
Here's
like,
this little NPC.
Sick. Like, and for you, it's like, swords and wizards and annoying little sidekicks, and you're like, sick. Like,
that's such a brutal oversimplification of what I love about Days Gone.
Oh, shut the fuck up. It is not. Come on. Like,
you like fucking Sons of Anarchy, I get it.
No. Okay, Nick. I'm not saying that like you're a man of simple taste. I'm saying that like
I know, I'm just giving you shit. It's fine.
You go to the well for water, right? Like it's
in theory.
It's Days Gone. It's motorcycles and zombies.
It's the emotional heart of it that I love. Crispy.
Okay. Yes.
But why do you not care about emotional heart when there's fireballs?
Like, come on, Nick. When the first time you saw that video game and you were like, "I'm gonna try that," it was because they were showing you like giant swarms of zombies and like a guy fighting for his life, and you were like, "Oh, that's sick." Not because you were like, "Oh, she has kind eyes. I want to know what her emotional depth is like." That's just something that was there when you already decided to be there, that you were like, "This is great." Like,
that is maybe the best argument I've heard so far. I like that. Okay, you're right. 100%. 110%.
Okay, that's why I say like it's okay to like dumb things, because that's what we all take on before we find the greater depth. Like,
Good point. I love that point. And Brad, to your credit, I'm sitting here racking my brain. I know that I don't have anything against fantasy, but I am sitting here racking my brain trying to think of the last fantasy video game that I played and genuinely loved, and it might have been a while.
It was Baldur's Gate 3.
And it was probably Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
And we know that one is in question.
It's only in question in your mind.
I mean, I'm definitely the vocal one, but I think I'm getting a lot of +2s on that topic. Just saying.
Fuck off. All right, let's move the fuck on, shall we? Let's have a conversation about Doom: The Dark Ages, shall we?
Okay.
I know Carlos is not here. I think he might be in chat though, so maybe
He's
Carlos
in chat
can
right
chime-
now.
Carlos is in chat. He can chime in on these things if he wants. I'll be happy to read his comments. But you know,
Dang, he says he can't join the call.
That's
Well,
Yeah, he
that's
can't. That was
a
what I
lie.
picked up. He
don't
can't
give
join
him.
the call.
Yeah, he will. If he joins the call, we will boot him out because this is a live podcast recording.
I can pop out. I mean,
no,
he's not recording. That's the problem.
not recording
We've
right.
on the podcast.
This is not a fly by the seat of your pants kind of operation here.
It's not a democracy.
Even though that's exactly how we operate, is flying by the seat of our pants. Look, Doom: The Dark Ages is pretty good, but
pretty fun, cool.
Big.
It's the things that separate this Doom from like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal that I think were immediately appealing to me, strangely enough, were the fantasy. I guess you can call them the fantasy elements that are kind of like the crux of it, right? Like the dragons and the fucking
fantasy elements
shit.
of your tone.
The heavy metal album
elements.
cover that is this video game.
Look, let me tell you, after Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, like yes, absolutely the soundtrack of these games is definitely a high, like it just gets your blood pumping if
the soundtrack for the first game is so fucking good.
It's amazing.
100%.
It's so fucking good.
And that's it's so good. And I think it was pretty good in Eternal too. I am noticing what's strange, and I think it's good here. Except what I'm noticing is that I'm spending a lot of time kind of walking around exploring in this game and like getting into combat scenarios. And sometimes I realize like where the fuck is the music? Like sometimes it really kicks in and it feels like Doom. Right, and it's like just crazy, like Mick Jordan fucking or Mick Gordon metal everywhere, right? And I'm like, into it. And then other times I'm like in firefights, and there's like practically no music playing, or it's like kind of subdued music, and I'm like, it's kind of killing my flow, and I'm like, it's weird. Like I don't know, it's like I kind of expected this to feel maybe like the most like. I thought this was going to be maybe the most like I feel weird describing it like this, but like musical of the Doom games. I thought it was going to have more of that, and it feels like it has way less. That's just something I'm noticing, which I find to be strange. But
how far along are you?
I'm on like the sixth chapter, sixth. I'm in the middle of the where they introduce you, like you're flying around on the dragon and you're going in and out of
I will say it feels like the music has kind of been de-emphasized just a little bit.
But like de-emphasizing just a little bit of music in this game makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Yeah, but there's a surprising amount of downtime in this game compared to Eternal in 2016.
Yeah, Carlos says the mix is fucked. You need to put like music at 100%, sound at 75%.
That might also be it. Yeah,
I might try that. But saying there's downtime and the kind of like the lack, like the toned down like intensity of the music makes it feel like there's a lot more downtime. Like in a proper Doom game, I don't feel like you should feel like there's any fucking downtime. I feel like it should be like, all the way to 100 all the time for the most part.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I mean,
I think you need to have room to breathe every now and then.
This is not like Doom. Like it's a game. Like I just feel like the music should be kind of like intense, even when I'm not like actively shooting things. Like when I'm just kind of like wandering around looking for secrets. I want it to feel like I want the music to carry me through the experience, which is what I feel.
It should be very
2016.
forward. It shouldn't be like atmospheric. It's like, remember the original games? You're running around shooting demons, and it's going like.
Exactly.
Like, it's fucking.
I mean, for some of the music, but also a lot of it was there was a level of suspense music and stuff like that. Like there was also some levels where it was just barely any music at all.
You know what I'm thinking, and this is the first. So I know this is. I'm going to lose a lot of credit for this. The first
we go.
Doom game I ever played was Doom 3.
I mean,
Which is obviously a
it's
very
age
different
thing,
kind,
yeah, it's not.
a very different kind of game, and
It is.
that is a game where there was a lot of downtime and a lot of exploration because it was more like they were treating it more like a horror type experience.
Well, I'm
And it
going to
kinda
judge
makes me
you
wanna
here real quick. Are you talking about Doom 3 Vanilla, or are you talking about like the BFG years later?
The vanilla.
Nobody
Okay, I was
talking
gonna
about the
say
BFG edition. Dog.
BFG's edition fucking sucks. It really does.
The first Doom game I ever played at launch was Doom 3. I have since gone back and played the original Doom, but my true introduction to the series was Doom 3, and I know that's fucking weird.
And
but
honestly,
this is the first
shouldn't
game
be called
since
Doom,
then.
but it is.
Right, but it feels like a weird experiment within the franchise.
It was a technology demonstrator, is what it was.
Yeah, but it was also pretty it's cool. Like I like that
fucking
genre,
cool.
so it worked for me. But it was definitely not. It didn't feel like what Doom is. It doesn't feel like Doom 2016. It doesn't feel like this.
I have a real soft spot in my heart for Doom 3. I think that it is one of the most atmospheric games of that decade. I think it does so many interesting things with trying to mess with the player while being, for its time, incredibly impressive visually.
Sure,
visual
it's
fidelity,
just one of
things like
those. It's just one of those things where it's like I'm sure people who have been longtime fans of the franchise saw it and were like, "This is cool and all, but like it's not Doom." Whatever, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying this is maybe the first game in the series since Doom 3 where I was kind of like feeling some of that subdued nature, which I was not fucking expecting. But to the other things that make this game unique, let's talk about them for a second. There's a lot more emphasis on melee combat in this game and using shields and
parry system, man.
A parry system, which is kind of cool. You know what I think I'm feeling the lack of, what were they called, glory kills, or is that what they were called? In
there are still
kills?
glory kills in the game. It's just they've been de-emphasized.
They're de-emphasized because like in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, they were these like kind of elaborate like kill animations, right?
Wonderfully well elaborate,
yeah, wonderfully well executed like kill animations, but you ended up seeing them like 1,000 times in the game, but they were cool every time. And this, they're all just kind of like, there's no like kind of like break in the action to show you these animations. It's just kind of like, you know, you deliver these like very fast killing blows and then it's over. So it feels like they've that there's a lot of things being de-emphasized, I guess, in Dark Ages, which feels strange because I was expecting it to like kind of ratchet things up in the other direction.
Maybe de-emphasized is the wrong word, maybe reprioritized.
Sure, but I mean, you aren't getting those like elaborate, like the most elaborate like kill animation you get in this game so far, for me anyways, is like those dudes that ride around on the sorry, I don't know Doom lore, like
no, this is a new enemy. I don't even know what it is.
The dudes that ride around on like the you know,
the mounts.
Creatures,
the
mounts, you take out the person the rider first, and that's this like brief kind of like harkening back to the glory kills of old, and then you have to take out the mount. But like outside of that, you're just like delivering these like really heavy like kicks or like punches that like knock dudes out and they like explode. It just doesn't feel quite as, I don't know.
They wanted to, my entire thinking here is that they wanted to take the dash mechanic of Eternal, which worked pretty well for how you were able to power up and apply to a lot of different enemies, and completely inversed it to where it is now a defensive parry system that with proper timing you can turn it into an offensive ability. And I do like it. I do, at the end of the day, like it. I think it works really well for the enemy variety so far that I've experienced. The game does a really good job of telling you, color coding a lot of things like Eternal did, where this weapon does this and you can do this ability with this color, things like that. I think even on like Ultraviolence, which is essentially the game's equivalent of hard,
which is what I'm playing on, by the way, which is probably why I got my ass handed to me, but whatever.
I mean, it's also been like 6 years since you played Eternal. Eternal's yeah, it's a whole other beast. You got to learn back to playing it.
Yeah.
I feel like how they deal with projectiles in this, and if they're not like hit scan weapons like bullets, like imp fireballs and stuff like that, they're too slow for their own good, I think. Like I feel like there's a balance of the speed of projectiles and your ability to parry them, and I think it's too generous for you to parry them. That being said, there's a lot of accessibility features in this game that allow you to tune that, and I think I'm going to turn that difference down a little bit to make it a more exciting experience.
I think it's a combination of things too, because at the end of the day, this is kind of a shift because of the introduction of the shield, which you can throw, and you can also use it to like lock onto enemies and then like do this like quick dash that like literally
wonderful
takes you
dash.
across
That
the
dash
map.
feels so good.
It's super satisfying, and it becomes part of traversal, like just moving around the battlefield really quickly. So between like emphasis of using the shield and kind of putting and you can like they throw enemies at you that have like different that have like shields that can only be taken out by like shooting them with like plasma weapons, or they have shields that can only be taken out by throwing your shield and stuff. So there's a lot more. It's having you kind of having to switch between melee and gunplay a lot, but like in making that shift away from just being solely focused on like gunplay, I don't want to say it's lost something, but it has kind of had an impact on the overall pacing of the game. I guess.
Did you read the
moment.
Carlos comment? Let me read it.
Hold on. Sure, go ahead.
I'm gonna sum this game up in a short sentence. All other games, you start and 5 seconds in, you blast them motherfuckers. This game, you get a long ass cutscene that feels like out of the Phantom Menace with motherfuckers talking about trade agreements, and the level ends with a turret sequence and a beach is really 2010 LMA.
That is all accurate. It it maybe has a little too much story for its own good, and I feel like that's
why
saying.
are they doing that?
I hate
Doom.
that statement.
What?
I mean,
You're a lore boy even for Doom?
I'm a lore boy for Doom. I love what they do with this series.
Look,
it's so gratuitously wonderfully stupid.
Look. I even appreciate like the added lore of like even Doom 2016. I liked what they did with it, but they didn't take you out of the action to tell you that story a lot. I feel like it does a little bit more in this game. At least at the beginning, at the bookends of the missions are the cutscenes are maybe a little long in the tooth. And I'm in this particular series, I feel like any story they were going to tell is fine, but I don't feel like they should ever take you out of the action to tell it. And they do that a lot when they're telling a story in this game. So I don't disagree with that statement. I don't think it's bad that they're trying to fit lore and story into Doom. It's just, the presentation should not be a detriment to the actual because this is a series all about momentum and intensity, right? And anything that kind of like takes the foot off the gas in Doom is maybe a mistake. But I do like what they've done here. Like I like I really like the shield. And I like what it does to combat, but I'm kind of surprised. Like at this point, like I'm 6 chapters in or whatever, and I only have like 4 like guns per se. And I think I would only say I like 2 of them. One of them is the shotgun. So I'm still kind of waiting for some of the weapons to blow my socks off.
Well, I mean, at this point, you're past me, and you've gotten the super shotgun at this point, but. I mean, they've rethought how they want to do weapons in this game, because they're no longer like each individual weapon is its own kind of thing with its own kind of counter to very particular enemies. It's now weapon groups. Like you'll get 2 types of shotguns, you'll get 2 types of stake projectile weapons, you'll get 2 types of plasma rifles, things like that. Each suiting a different the same set scenario, but now you have 2 different options for how to approach the use of that projectile fire.
Sure. I'm just saying it's kind of for a series like Doom, it feels like a step backwards a little bit. But they've also, like I said, they've also replaced it with interesting mechanics. Like, and the melee stuff is cool, and like these like mecha, like the like the giant mech levels. I don't know if you've done the mech level yet, based on where you are.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah, that's like number 3. Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of very
So
2010, a mech
yeah.
level.
I mean, what? Yeah.
What's
I mean,
wrong
is
with
that
mechs? You got a problem with mechs?
No, I
I
don't.
think-
I don't have a problem with mechs, but a mech level, a dragon
mean,
level. That's very 2010.
look,
That's
the dragon level I
Ooh,
think is way more interesting than the mech level. The mech level
damn, he
feels
is a
kind of dated.
fantasy boy.
No, but like,
Wow.
so I'm doing the one thing that's weird because you eventually get to ride around in this dragon, and that's pretty fucking cool. But that it
This
has this
rocket
like lock on.
assisted dragon with laser wings. Yes.
See, he only likes the dragon when it's a science fiction dragon.
Well, okay. To be fair, like as much of a fantasy fan as I am, mechs are the coolest thing ever. Like
They are.
there's nothing in fantasy that is quite that. Cool.
I'm sad. I'm sorry to say that the mech in Doom: The Dark Ages is probably not the coolest mech you'll ever play in a game. It's very
I believe that.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But the dragon is pretty cool. The weird thing about the dragon is that like, at least when they're teaching you like the mechanics and everything, there's this weird lock-on system, and like when you lock on, it'll like like depending on like the angle you're at to the thing that you're locked on, it'll like shift you so that you're in the right position. Like it'll move you to put you in the correct like line of sight to the thing you're. It feels very weird and it's jarring and I don't like it. But the level itself is like kind of big and open, and you're flying around in this dragon and you're like taking out things, then landing on them, going in there, and suddenly it's like an actual Doom level where you're running through, with your guns and your shield and taking out dudes, and then you like take out the reactor or whatever, and then you jump back on your dragon, and then you're flying around again. So it's like kind of going back and forth seamlessly between those two things, and like that's pretty fucking cool. I really enjoy that. But like the things that I love about Doom, the things I love most about this game is still the thing that I loved the most about the last two Doom games, which is fucking like exploring the levels to find secrets and shit.
Mhm.
Like that shit's like there's shit to find, and you're like poking
There
at all
is.
the
They do a
I don't
lot
know.
of advertising of like doors you can't get through. Things are like one-way exits where there's clearly power-ups and stuff like that.
and that shit's
That you're
kinda
eventually gonna be able to
cleverly
find.
hidden.
It is, and it can be. Get in the past, like level 5 was, but also that being said, level 5 was like the first one I'd played that I hadn't gotten every single secret.
Yeah.
And also like it's that same level of like Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 content where it's very minor things like toys, or it's like skins, maybe every now and then a codex page, to give you
It's
a little
almost
bit more
like
lore.
you're just it's weird. Like the best thing about the game is actually just kind of like the dopamine hit you get from finding something that was hidden, even if the thing that you find is kind of dumb and maybe not useful in any real significant way. So Mr.
But, like-
Papa Shot in chat makes a good point. He says people complain that Eternal took you away from combat too often with platforming, and this game like triples down on that. And I don't disagree. And when you combine that with like the music kind of being pulled back a little bit, and the refocusing on melee stuff, I think people who had that complaint with Eternal are probably not going to feel like the pendulum is swinging back in the other direction with this game.
But
But
I'm of the opinion that I think the loss or the removal of more proper platforming, I don't like
I'll tell
that.
you what,
I had fun with it. What?
I'll tell you what, you feel like a fucking, and I'm sure it was this way in the last two Doom games, I just can't remember very well, but like they really ratcheted up that power fantasy of like when you run and jump and like land, like feel like the fucking earth shake.
Because you
like,
do. You cause the earth to shake, and any fodder enemies around you just instantly die. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's pretty cool.
It is.
That's pretty sweet.
But like tying into like in this area right here where I find a secret, like, so this is a game that's supposed to be like in media res in the middle of this war between Argent-Denur, the Sentinels, and Hell, basically. And I have an idea where the story is going because it's kind of basic. But the problem I have is that when you remove things like the platforming sequence, but you don't replace them, you have this extra downtime where I think because you're doing this backstory game, you could have a little bit more fun with backstory content. So, like, in the first 5 levels of this game, you're running into a lot of civilians and non-combatants. And you can't interact with them.
Like they're supposed to be acting like they're scared of you because you're like this god to them.
Yes.
But like you just hear them kind of like whispering and mumbling and like oh, don't look at him. And it's like
that old Doom review. That old Doom review where the reviewer just wanted to talk to the NPCs.
Oh God, they wanted to talk to the demons is what I want.
To that point, Chris Davis, I keep having this thought, especially in areas like that. The game is making me think it's like trying to be Space Marine 2, but like Space Marine 2 did it way better, where you're like walking around the I forgot what it's called in Space Marine.
The battle barge.
Yeah, the battle barge, and you're like you're hearing all these people react to your presence and like talk about you, and then you can
that's
like
a very minor
conversations.
That's like a very minor like hub area essentially. Like it's not necessarily like that's a lore area. This game doesn't do hub levels. No, it doesn't. Like Eternal did.
But I'm just saying, like the vibe I get when I'm in like areas like that makes me think of Space Marine 2. And
that's kind of to his point, Chris, is that what Nick's saying is that like all of that other stuff outside of combat, Space Marine kind of does better.
Yeah, it fills the void in Space Marine 2 much better. In this game, when you find yourself not platforming, not shooting things, it feels like the game has come to a halt.
Dude, even in levels, those like set pieces where like when you walk past the like Cadian regiment and they're like fucking whatever's up on the tank, like giving that speech, and they're all like. And they're like executing fucking traitors in the back line.
They could have done more stuff like that. Like there are genuinely lots of areas in this game where you bust into these areas where like all these people that are fighting on the side that you are there to defend. Yeah. So you're not killing them. They're there, but all they're doing is cowering and whispering. Like that's all they do. And it's like
but here's the thing is that this shares a lot more DNA with the Ancient Gods Part 2 than Doom Eternal or 2016 itself. Ancient Gods Part 2, I think it stands alone as just like the best of any of that previous content from 2016 and Eternal. It is a lot of fun.
It's the Minerva's Den of Doom.
It is. That is the best way to put it, honestly. It is a very challenging but good gameplay balance that introduces new mechanics, wraps up the story of Eternal in a fun, very fun way. And I'll be honest, it takes a page directly out of Avengers Endgame with like you're leading a fucking army against the fucking devil in the depths of hell.
Phyllis says, I agree with you that Ancient Gods 2 being peak Doom, but this ain't it, baby. That's to quote Carlos directly.
Yeah, no, this so far isn't it. I'm only 5 levels in. I'm hoping that the mechanics grow and that
I gotta be honest.
The problem so far that they have not demonstrated in any way other than like background, like filler content way off in the distance, is that you're always going to be fighting alone against hordes of demons. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you're telling a story of a war and you're fighting for these two kingdoms, like I would expect like to do more than just like get cutscenes and maybe just see sporadic NPCs every now and then that have nothing to do with the actual combat.
You're telling me that this is a sad 86, not a happy 86.
A flash 86.
I think maybe it's not sad. It's maybe a flaccid 86, but it's an 86. But it's still an 86, and I think it's
really good. I'm liking it.
It's fun when I'm playing it. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. But I also can't. I feel like I'm already, because at this point I've played like 7 or 8 hours of it, and I feel like at the end of the day, I'll be like, that was fun, but it's not a game. I don't feel like it's a game I'm going to be thinking much about at the end of the year,
Nick,
which is kind of disappointing.
I want people to
But I
clip
could be
this
wrong.
out, even though that Twitch is going to delete that clip immediately or whatever the fuck they do now. Clip this out. Nick says, yeah. And he's going to put it at his number 10. And I'm going to be like, dude, your number 10 ain't shit. And then we're going to roll the clip of Nick going, eh.
But I'm also saying that with the caveat being that I'm only like on the 6th of like level of like 23. Yeah. And like, maybe I just haven't gotten to like the really sick shit. But
dude, man, I played 30 seconds of the OG Doom and it's already goated. Come on, dog.
Look, man, I really like Doom 2016. I really like Doom Eternal. And I think I'm going to ultimately like this. But it's got some stiff competition this year. That's all I'm saying.
It does. It does.
And also, I think maybe the over reliance on this weird like Guitar Hero shit with like the green things that you have to parry. And
you wanted it to be more musical. It's Guitar Hero.
I mean, I don't mean actual Guitar Hero, but I mean like enemies will shoot it's more like bullet hell, right? Like Returnal, like they're shooting the colored beams at you, and you have to like dodge the red ones and hit the green ones back, which will shoot them back at you and blow off their armor so that you can then go in for the kill. Like it's cool in theory, but like every enemy is doing it, and it's kind of weird at this point. I don't know how much I love that.
It's directly inspired by what they did in Eternal with the Marauder, how that was an enemy that you couldn't be too far away from, you couldn't be too close to, you had to be in a just right distance. And you had to study your enemies for their tell in which they're going in for an attack, and that's when they're the most vulnerable.
But now it's like every enemy, except for the little.
But instead of it being like in Eternal, where it was like attack first, this is a parry. We're actually defensive and counterattacking.
All right, I have apparently made it so that even if I wanted to, in my heart of hearts, I couldn't put this game in my top 10. I've fucked myself.
No,
because now
it's because Doom win fantasy.
Well, I'm glad you learned.
At the end of the day, it's because Doom win fantasy.
Mr. Pop Shot says, "Oh, this definitely has big Nick's number 10 energy." Fuck. Okay. Can't fuck.
Fuck Nick in this conversation.
Is a sad number 10. This is a sad number 10 energy versus happy number. Are you really talking with your mouth open? Full?
That comes across so well on an audio medium.
All your number 10s are sad number 10s. That's the point I've been trying to make.
That's bullshit, though. That's bullshit.
Whoa, Detroit Become Human?
I love that game. I loved my time with that game. Although, if you go back and listen to the podcast, I had a very distinctly different experience than some other people with that game. But hey, I get it, and I get it. Okay, we don't have to talk about that anymore. But hey,
we will report back next week once we finish the game.
And I am going to finish it. I have a 4-day weekend. I'm going to finish this game.
We're a quarter of the way through. We got Memorial Day to work with us. We're good.
I can't have this be one of the games hanging over me when fucking Death Stranding 2 comes out next month.
Dude, should I play Death Stranding real quick?
Yes.
There is no
good fucking games about Death Stranding.
Dude,
I thought you played it.
No, we didn't.
Just like sit down, ignore your wife and kids, play that game for like 80 hours, and you will have the best. You will have a
Malia watch all of it.
Oh, don't do that.
And she'll fire for divorce tomorrow.
No girls. Come on. No girls allowed.
She's been watching
Wow.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. She watched me play like all of Blueprints, and she was kind of with me on it.
What was her experience?
But she's been like going hard on crocheting. She started doing like diamond art, and it's like even more. I can't look at the TV than crochet. It's horrible. Now she's like in the room, but she's not even facing the television. She's just
she
like
look at you anymore
at a desk doing diamond art.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways, yeah, we'll report back. Doom the Dark. This sounds all doom and gloom. I don't mean it for it to. The
Doom
Dark
and
Ages.
gloom.
No.
Doom and Gloom.
Do you think like that's like
that's part 4.
That's like a byline on? I mean, not a byline, but
That's a good name for the episode.
Doom and Gloom.
The Doom and Gloom show. It works.
Sounds
It works on multiple levels.
fucking gloomy.
We're not going to complete the Chris Davis trilogy this week.
What's the Chris Davis trilogy?
Well, the past 2 episodes you've named them after me and getting interrogated.
I have to go back and look at the records. I don't remember what I named the last few episodes. But anyways, let's talk about something. Krispy, you've been playing. You've been playing a game that you've been wanting to talk about for a while. Tell us about Skin Deep.
Yes, the new Blendo Games game, a Blendo joint. Boy, what a game. This is the first game they've done in since Quadrilateral Cowboy came out, right?
I believe.
Oh God, really?
Which
Wait.
was
I feel like there was an
They
interim.
might have done like Flotilla 2. Like real quick. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Krispy,
Look,
real quick.
I'm not going to talk about Blendo Games' history. I love Brendan Chung and his oeuvre, his body of work. All of these games, 30 Flight of Loving, Flotilla, Quadrilateral Cowboy, like these games were fucking sick. And this Gravity Bone, yeah. This what?
Do you have a fan like blowing directly into your microphone from behind?
I'm not hearing anything too weird.
You're not hearing anything? Okay,
I
never
think
mind. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe like an oscillating fan or something.
I mean, I have a fan on. It's hot.
Nothing too
in my
crazy.
room.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just okay. If it's not bothering anybody else, don't worry. Just fuck me.
It's May in Central Texas. Let him. He wants to live.
Okay. Fuck, Nick. Oh, God damn it.
Sorry,
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Anywho.
Skin Deep.
God damn it. Yeah, you
I
fucking
ruined it. I'm sorry.
ruined me. You laid me low, Nicholas. Yeah, this game, he's been working on this game for, I don't know, like 7 years or something. Like
84 years.
He used to post regular updates on Twitter of just like him like figuring out different systems and different interactions, because this game is an ImSim, an immersive simulation.
I love ImSims. I've also never heard them called that.
The concept is that you play a woman named Nina Pasadena.
That's a great name.
That's great.
She's what is known as an insurance commando. So like in this world of humans and cats, people who operate spaceships for whatever, commerce that they're involved in, get insurance against pirates specifically. And part of that policy is that the insurance company will put a commando on the ship, like hidden somewhere on the ship where even like the crew doesn't know where they are, in cryo sleep. And if the ship gets taken over by pirates, the agent is woken up and they deal with the pirates and rescue the crew.
And that's one of these. That's this character you're playing as.
So that's what Nina Pasadena does, right? She's
Pasadena.
She's an insurance commando. So every level is one of these ships that you're on, that you get cryo frozen onto. Like in between levels, you're in Nina's apartment, and then like you'll get your assignment, and they'll put the cryo sleep box in your room, and you get in it and you go to sleep, and then when you wake up, you're in the new level. And it'll say like you've been asleep for 2 weeks, something like that. And so every level is completely different. They're all spaceships, but they're all like different kinds of businesses as well. This one is a like asteroid mining ship. So it's like a spaceship that's built around an asteroid. It's really weird. But there's one that's a radio station. There's one that's a restaurant. There's one that there's one that's a library. There's one that's a bank vault ship. That's really cool. There's one that's a laundromat. Like they have a bunch of like washers and dryers and shit, right? So it's fun. It has that same kind of like fun, punky, like lighthearted, but like cool vibe that like his other games have, that like Quadrilateral Cowboy certainly had, that 30 Flights of Loving had, you know.
It's unique,
but it has more production value too. Like it's all
Yes.
fully voiced. It has like this really cool, like the story, like what Nina is doing, like the plot she's dealing with throughout the whole game, is that early on in the game you meet a pirate who looks like Nina, and you have to like looks exactly like her, and you kind of, the whole story is about her like unraveling that mystery, and you kind of learn about Nina's past. She used to be like in organized crime, and like her old partner is a cat that whose name is like Little Lion, I think.
Say no more. I'm sold.
Yeah, who like you have to go to for help, and he's like, okay, I'll help you, but you got to buy this and this, so you have to take all these jobs to earn the money to like buy the things that he wants. Um, so there's like this whole intrigue element to it. Like I said, this game has a James Bond-esque opening as well, which I hadn't gotten to last time I talked about it. Last time I talked about it, I was still playing the intro, and once I got through the intro and they set up what the whole like premise of the game was gonna be, then they do this crazy intro sequence, which he's done those in a lot of his games, like the Quadrilateral Cowboy begins with a train heist that is the intro sequence. That's so fucking cool. And it's so, but it's a level that you're like moving around too, like, you know, so it's like it's like a James Bond style effect, but you're like moving around it, and it's
That's
so
cool.
fucking sick. It's so sick. But yeah, so the moment to moment gameplay, like what you're doing is you're sneaking through these ships unarmed. Like you have no equipment, you have no nothing, you don't even have shoes, and you're trying to take out these pirates and save the cat crew members. So like all around the ship there will be like, you know, 3 cats held hostages in these like boxes, and you have to get the keys for each box and unlock them. You're gonna have to get those keys a lot of times from the pirates, which means either defeating them and picking it up, or like pickpocketing them, or using the ship's like systems to do all kinds of weird shit. Like, for instance, one thing you can do that you saw me do earlier in this video, even if you didn't realize that's what you were looking at, was I depressurized an airlock in a room so that it would kill all the guards in the room, which it does.
Ooh.
And
But that wasn't the only way you could have dealt with the situation.
that wasn't the only way
right?
you could have dealt with it. No, not at all. Like the whole thing is like a contiguous, like running simulation. You can move around and do whatever you want. Like I've been going around finding these passcodes that unlock the breakers that turn on like the trash chutes, that turn on the airlocks, that turn on doors. Like there will be ones that like turn on windows and shit. So you can kind of like unravel the level however you want. What you see me doing here is I'm taking the pirates' heads, and I'm throwing them away, because all the pirates have these devices called skull savers. When they die, their heads pop off and then slowly float back to the nearest regeneration point, and then they'll regenerate if they get there. So you have to deal with their heads.
It's like Futurama. You have to
Yeah.
they're not dead until you throw away their
Right. You have
their
to like
jar heads.
either throw them in, you have to like throw them in a trash chute, you have to flush them down a toilet, or you can just like put them in your inventory and like go out into space and just like chuck them, and that'll do it.
That feels so cruel, but okay.
But it's like you have you only have 5 inventory slots. So everything that you can interact with is an item. And you know, oh, I have 2 cat keys. Okay, well that's 2 more pirate heads I can't hold, you know, or that's another walkie-talkie I can't hold. Like it's so great. One of my favorite things of just kind of like the humor of this game is the walkie-talkie, because it most of the pirates carry them. They're a really handy item to have. They only have limited battery, that you can only use them so many times. But what they will do is they'll tell you they'll tell you like any enemy units that are in the room you're in, like where they are, as like a little ping on that screen. And the other thing it'll do is, if a combat search goes off, you can hit the button to like end the search. Nina will get on the mic and be like, all clear here, and then like that'll end the search, right? But sometimes the pirates get suspicious, and they'll do like an all call on the radio, and they're like, everyone check in, right? And if that happens later in the level after you've taken out like 4 or 5 pirates, Nina will have to sit on the mic and do that every time and be like, all clear over here. I didn't see anything over here. Oh, okay. My area's clear. Like she like changes her voice and everything. Like it's so fucking funny. It's great.
I dig it.
But like if you run out of battery because you have to do that too many times, you have to get another fucking walkie-talkie. Like I think you see that happen to me right here. Is like I have to use it. I get through one of them, another one comes up and I'm like, "Oh fuck." And I like am running back to another room where I saw a walkie-talkie like to try to get to it in time, but I don't. I fail this, by the way. I get killed after about 13 minutes. So you don't get to see what the loop is, but basically, after you've rescued all of the cat prisoners, like on this ship, there's 3 of them. So once I get 3 cat keys and I unlock all the cat prisoners, then I have to go outside of the ship. I have to get out. I have to go out into space. Yeah. So Nina has she has like implants that let her exist in space. So you can just like go out into space and float around. You can depressurize rooms while you're in them. You can like break windows while you're in them to like kill other people and suck them out into space, and you'll be fine. Which is so fucking cool. It's so much fun. Like just like being like, oh, I can't get to the bridge from in here, but I bet if I go outside and break the window, I can get in that way. You know, like is so cool. But once you have all the cats, you have to go out into space, and you'll see at each of the airlocks and like on the inside and the outside of the ship are these like break glass in emergency boxes that have signal lamps, like Morse code signal lamps. And you go out into the ship, you aim it, it'll tell you which direction to aim, and you give a signal that it like tells you to give, and then they will send a rescue pod that you attach to the ship. Once the rescue pod is attached to the ship, the cats get in it, and then you get in it too. And inside the rescue pod, they give you like actual weapons. There's like shotguns and pistols and grenades and tripwires and all kinds of shit. And you put the cats in the pod, you gear up all the weapons, and then you leave the pod. The pod takes the cats to safety, and to end the level, you have to do one of 2 things. So while this is happening, a like pirate ship of reinforcements will come to the ship you're on and will attach itself to one of the airlocks on the vessel. And then a bunch of like really powerful pirates will start patrolling the ship. You have to either defeat all those pirates, like kill all of them, or one of them carries access codes for their ship. If you can steal that off of him and sneak away and get to the airlock, you can escape in their ship.
Ooh.
And if you do that, the level's over. But there's also secrets. There's also like secret objectives and shit to find. There's like hidden cassette tapes in every level that you're looking for. Like on the mail ship, it'll be like, or no, there's one that's a drive-through burger stand, and like there'll be a secret objective that's like serve 5 customers. Like there's still like drive-through customers coming to the burger stand like while you're dealing with this pirate situation. So you can like go to the food processor and make burgers and fill orders.
So I remember a few weeks ago when you briefly talked about this, and we had kind of like offhandedly compared it to like Prey, right? That's like a touch point that we've all.
Yeah.
So, but this is like level based, but like each level is like its own spaceship, but that's kind of like its own self-contained Prey situation.
Yeah, think of it as like its own like a building. It's like you're in just like different office buildings for each level, you know. But here they're spaceships, but you know, so they have like kind of a fantastic design to them that is completely based around like what would be like a cool sort of like vents and sneaking hallways kind of situation. Oh yeah, see that's me dying. You take wounds, which like, oh, I stepped in glass, now I'm bleeding, so I have to like open the menu and like remove the fucking glass from my foot to like stop the damage, or like I have to remove bullet holes to stop the damage. But yeah, you can see some of like the secret objectives there, which sometimes they explicitly tell you what to do. Sometimes it's more like, you know, have fun with this thing, you know, and figure it out. God, this game is fucking sick, and like
It looks awesome.
it, like, yeah, I don't like. No one's talking about it. No one's playing it. Like, I think when the official account tweeted out that it was out, I was like one of two people who retweeted it. Like, I was like the second person to retweet it. You know, like no one's aware of this game. But
but like,
yeah,
I guess I'm wondering,
I
like, what was
mean,
the
welcome
trajectory
to the
horrible
horrible
world of indie games?
indie games these days.
What was the success level of like Quadrilateral Cowboy in the grand scheme of things, and what was
not.
the
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people played that one either. I think 30 Flights of Loving, maybe more people would remember that,
Maybe
but just because it was
it's
like it was
early.
around during that like real wave of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
indie games, you know, like in the old PS3 360 days, you know.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, this strikes me as something that, if it's not super successful right out of the gate, would slowly pick up steam over time. Because I mean, I would imagine the word of mouth is going to be pretty positive on the game. So,
I
but
mean,
then again,
if you
I
like
always think about
things,
how I
if
always
you
think about
like
like
things like Deus
Prey.
Ex or Prey, this
Yeah,
shit is that. Like,
but like Dishonored and Prey are some of the most amazing gaming experiences just ever. And I think about how maybe not successful they ultimately ended up being, like from a financial standpoint, and I'm just like, I guess, well,
No, this is just
yeah, I mean,
it's just no, you
I
know.
mean, this is
I
like
don't
a
know.
game that like one guy worked on over, you know, a decade. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if he worked on it alone. Uh, well, I guess no, he didn't because there's like a bunch of voice actors and shit. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't ever see
This
this
is like
breaking through into the mainstream. But
this is yeah, it's never gonna be mainstream. I feel like Blendo Games is like the
yeah,
you know how they say
the Vim
like
vendors of video games.
no well
I don't know, I guess
you know
even he.
it's like your game critics game of choice, you know, not
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
people who
This is
like this game is overwhelmingly like positive or some shit on Steam because the only people who play Blendo
dude.
games are Blendo Games fans.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
honestly, this like
there are
I
dozens of
remember
those.
one of my main criticisms about Quadrilateral Cowboy was that like it didn't feel robust enough. Like they
Yeah,
had all these really cool ideas and really cool mechanics, but
not a
like
complete
there
thought maybe.
wasn't a lot of game to like play with it, you know, to
Yeah.
do it. It was like, wow, that was a really cool thing they did on that level, and then they never do it again, and then two more levels of the game's over, right? Like
Mhm.
this
But
is a
this,
fucking video game. Like this is a video game ass video game. There's a lot going on. It's compelling. Like it's funny. It's challenging. Like this level is so much harder than the one that came before it. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It is like a smaller bite-sized like level-based version of like a Deus Ex where it's like you know, I maybe we overuse this analogy, but it's like a puzzle game almost. Like it's fucking sick. I wholeheartedly recommend this game to all of you motherfuckers because it's on our fucking Steam library, so you have to play it.
I buy
I
This
will.
1,000% intend to play it.
Thank
this is
you.
top 10 material for sure. This is top 5 material for
This
Yeah.
sure.
is
Oh shit.
And I
Like
take
this is a happy
crispy top
10.
fives. Like a number 10 on Crispy's list is like a strong
yeah,
recommendation.
that one hurt. That one
Fuck
hurt.
off, Brad.
Number 10
I
hurt.
hate you so much.
No, but this is great. And you know, I feel like I've already played twice as much of this as you know. Like I feel like of what I've played, which I'm not done, is already twice as long than Quadrilateral Cowboy was, and I know I still have like 5 or 6 more levels before the game's over. Um, it's great, guys.
Damn.
Just fucking play it. It's
Just
so
fucking play it.
fun. It's so fun. It's so good. This is a balm. This game is a balm in a world of quadruple A
This is
over,
maybe the
like,
MVP recommendation
while
of
I'm
tonight's
like
episode.
crashing out over corporate game design and things like Marathon and things like that. Like this is what gives
Keeps me
hope.
going.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one.
Cool.
There's
Sweet.
an auto defibrillator that stuns everybody. It's so cool.
Charm for days.
Wait, what for days?
Charm.
Oh,
Yeah,
charm for days.
it's so charming. It's so charming. If this world was a just one, you will be hearing all about this game at the end of the year. But I
See,
doubt
hearing you talk,
we will.
hearing you say that makes me feel like maybe instead of just playing our Steam library, I should actually like buy the game to support
Yeah,
it.
you're a rich motherfucker. Your wife just bought a $300 book.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, only rich people even buy books.
Yeah, what to read? Ooh, la-ti-da.
We've regressed to the 15th
Oh,
century
man.
here.
You got to have leisure time to be able to read.
Oh, fancy book, my lord.
Jesus Christ. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our final thoughts of the evening in our 4-player minute.
Oh, Jesus.
Brad, would you like to
I did
start
have
us
one.
off? About damn time.
I'm trying to recall though. Let me
great.
come back to me.
God.
Circle back.
You motherfucker.
I did have
Did that
one.
on purpose.
All right, Chris Davis.
Okay. All right. Sorry, doing the timestamp. Yeah. My final thought is I beat Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Put about 80 hours into it. 100% of the game. Did every achievable thing you could do. Even started up New Game Plus just to get just to get done with one achievement that you couldn't do outside of like the prologue of the game.
Yeah.
There's a hidden mime that I didn't know was in Lumiere.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's hard to find things in the game because there's no map.
that is true.
that is true. Yeah, there's a lot of complex levels in there sometimes.
That
I
could use a map.
fucking love this game. It's incredible. It's game of the year for 2025.
You don't know that.
No, it's 100%. That's what's happening. That's happening.
You don't know that. It's not
It
done.
is. It is.
Sometimes you just know in your heart of hearts, Brad.
Heart of hearts. Would you
think I
have
should
told?
This
Would
year
you have-
hasn't had its Disco Elysium yet.
Would you have
think I
gotten
didn't
after
know that
Nick
shit?
about Red Dead Redemption 2 being his game of the year
Yeah.
that year?
Homie, this ain't your Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't even.
This is, bro. I
That's
swear
his
to
favorite game ever.
You think I didn't know that shit in 2018 and 2020? Like I knew.
I
my game
know
of the year was
there.
gonna be those years.
I know there's supposed to be like a mandatory like wait time between considering to add things to your top 10 of all time list.
I adore
That
the
shit's
game.
artificial.
It's getting a little overglazed. I gotta be honest with you.
No.
And this might even be my game of the year. I'm saying probably not because I actually think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Blueprints might be
Ding,
better.
ding,
But
ding.
That's fair. That's
but,
fair.
But what about we're not even halfway through, Chris
Yeah.
Davis.
Yeah.
What about Donkey Kong?
That's what you went with, Donkey.
Really?
Donkey
That
Kong.
was your
Donkey Kong
gut check there?
Red Faction Gorilla.
What about fucking?
There's so much. You know,
Death
it could be Death
Stranding
Stranding
2?
or Yote
There's-
or like
There's
Silk
9 other slots on my game of the year list.
Song, Mina the Hollower.
There are 9 other slots on my game of the year list. This says claimed it. This is number 1. It's going to time
like,
will
so
prove
far?
that
Oh,
Expedition 33 is the best game of 2025. And you will
shit.
agree with me come
Wouldn't
January
that be
1st.
hilarious?
Sucks. Yeah.
That would be hilarious if Sling actually managed to bump it. What just happened?
I don't
Why did
know.
Brad just take off? Brad just had a really weird reaction. I don't know what's going on.
Hold on. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still recording my podcast, but it's playing also. Do I just hit the play button?
Are you sure it's still recording?
Just fuck.
Oh my god. I don't even. This has never
I
happened.
don't want to hit
what's happening.
stop.
Just keep going. Yeah, I I love what they did with the story. They do so many incredible things for putting emphasis on moments and building up to so many exciting things. The super bosses that are well hidden in the game that you have to be like in the 80s or 90s to competently take on. Like, they are such great challenges, but at the same time, the design of the Pictos and Lumina, your skills, passives and actives, like, they all interact with one another, and none of them are artificially canceled out in any way. So you can come up with insane fucking builds. I thought that the most I could probably get on a kill was maybe 4 or 5 million damage. That was
last week it was that, and that was pretty pitiful.
Yeah, and then I discovered, oh, if I do this and I have this happen in this combination at this certain point, I can, because everything's percentage based, not like set numbers. I could turn a 2 or 3 million combo attack into 80, 90, 100 million. And you just feel so fucking good when you pull it off.
I'm still capping at 9,999.
What the fuck? You're not even in Act 3?
No, not yet.
You got to get there, man. He's been playing other things.
I'm 30 hours in. I'm like at the 30-hour mark.
Yeah.
I'm 80 hours in.
I am about to cross the threshold into Act 3. I'm at that boss.
You're close. Yeah, you're at the big moment. You've met the Axons. Yes. You're getting close. Yes. Yeah. So many fucking great moments in this game, and the storytelling and the writing and the acting is fucking top notch across the board. Oh, I love everything about it. And even as I'm not gonna say because Nick's on the call.
Don't say it.
It's
just Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's just so fucking incredible. This should be like a game. This is going to be like a game of the decade for a lot of people.
Damn, he's going.
Did you guys?
The narrative is definitely in this game's favor.
Be art.
The narrative is definitely in this game's favor. I think it's like a shoe-in for like Game of the Year awards at the end of the year because the narrative is so in its favor. But let's chill a little bit.
I know you want to chill on this, but
I'm not. The fact of the matter is, I love
2025 has peaked, man. I'm sorry.
Like you literally have an Ace Combat game on your Fantasy Critic roster.
Yes.
You believe that Ace Combat will come out.
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. I'm trying to will it into existence.
That's not how anything works. Okay.
Chris Davis is having his Last of Us 2 moment that I had, or his Red Dead Redemption 2 moment.
No, I don't think so. That's your literal favorite game of all time. This is not going to be his favorite game of all time.
No, it's not.
From now. See?
No, this is not going to be my favorite of all time. My favorite of all time is going to remain my favorite of all time until I die.
Is it going to make your top? Has it cracked your? You finished the game.
Yes.
Has it cracked your top 10 list of all time?
It's going to. Yeah.
What do you mean it's going to? You finished
I know.
The game.
There's nothing left.
I'm figuring out what I'm going to knock off and push off the list in order to fit it in.
Number 10.
Yes, at least my number 10. At least my number 10.
Well, it doesn't take up more than one slot.
Yeah, but it depends on where I'm pushing everything else back, you know?
All right, we're getting into the weeds here. We need to move on with the 4-player minute. Brad, are you ready? Did you figure it out? Brad?
I didn't figure it out, dog.
Okay, also, did you figure out your recording, or are we going to have to fuck shit up?
No, I mean, it's recording, and I recorded everything up until I hit something. Like, you know, when I said the thing.
Was there a moment where your recording stopped?
Yes, but I spoke not during it at all. So
that doesn't mean anything. That means we're still going to have to whatever. We'll figure it out.
No. We can use Audacity. You're going to have to find out where the gap is for me.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's not easy. Okay, whatever. We'll figure it out.
It's not easy, but it's all there. and you're all there, so we're all there.
Krispy, what's
We
your
do
final
it
thought
not
for the week?
because it is easy, but because it is worth doing.
I was like, if we can keep this to one segment tonight, I can maybe get this show out in a timely manner, even though, and then you just fuck it up in the last stretch. Sorry. I'm just kidding. But it is going to be a pain in the dick. Anyways.
It sounded like you were kidding.
No, actually, that was how I felt in my heart of hearts. I apologize. Krispy.
Are you telling me Game of the Year is not going to be Split Fiction, Chris Davis?
No?
Remember that frivolous bullshit?
Shut the fuck up. Krispy.
Okay, shut up. Speaking of Game of the Year, Marathon, huh?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Think bad things are happening?
Oh, no. So, like, not only was the announcement and the gameplay reveal pretty tepid, people played it and were kind of like, I don't know. And then, like, Arc Raiders came out and their player count was going up every day, and Marathon's player count was going down every day, and a lot of people were just not into it at all, and other people were like, I don't know, maybe they'll fix it, and then all the feedback is going to the devs, and they're saying like, oh, well, we're talking about doing this, we're thinking about doing that, we're trying to figure out how to do this, and it's a lot of like really small incremental shit, a lot of like gameplay balancing, sandbox stuff, and not like big features that people want, the biggest of which being proximal voice chat, which they're just kind of like, we don't have a plan for that.
In 2025.
So already not great, right? Already not a good environment. Already the vibes are
bad.
Off. Yeah, the vibes are bad. And then this artist named Anti-Real comes out on Twitter and says like, hey, I think Marathon has stolen a lot of my content, and is showing like screenshots of in-game assets that have like their logo.
Oh,
like typography. Like
I didn't know that.
A lot of it is like, yeah, a lot of it is not even changed. It's just cut and pasted.
The cool
like strings of logos. Yeah. So okay. There is a bigger conversation that is happening now because the real kill shot witty observation is like, oh well, the art style was the only thing anybody really liked, and that's all stolen. It's complicated, but they absolutely did steal work from from this artist, Anti-Real, like a lot of it.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube on that one.
So like, yeah, and people are talking about how I can't remember the guy's name, but the art director for the game has been following Anti-Real on Twitter since like 2016 or something like that. What Bungie's official statement was that this was the work of a single employee who no longer works at the company, hasn't worked at the company for like a year or two now, and they didn't know about it. And now that this has been brought to their attention, they've reached out to Anti-Real, are trying to like come to some settlement with them. And then also they are going through a complete scrub of all of their art assets to make sure that like they remove all of this person's art, right?
I heard Philip Mewson got a job at Bungie.
Yeah, right.
This game is out in 3 months.
That's kind of what's going on. Yeah,
Is
this game's out in 3 months. No, hang on. No, I'm not done, guys.
Oh.
You're.
It gets worse.
Like, they just did a developer live stream 2-3 days ago, I think, and they were talking about changes and feedback. They addressed like within 24 hours they were doing a live stream after this thread went out to address it, and consequently, because of that scrub they mentioned, they had to do this whole live stream talking about the game, and they couldn't show any of the footage because they're like dismantling the game right now to get all this shit out of it, right? There's, the what I was saying though is like there's a discussion between like, okay, is were they just stealing assets that fit a certain aesthetic that they were already going for, or did somebody see this person's art and go like, we're going to base everything around that? And that latter narrative is the one that people are really like having fun with and running with. Probably not true though. The guy whose name I couldn't remember, the art director, like he has worked in that like design space for like a decade and was doing stuff that looked like that before any of this other like asset, like before any of the supposed stolen, or,
before that stolen art
right,
existed.
before the stolen art existed, right? So it looks like he constructed this look that kind of fit a lot of other work that he was doing, like not just at Bungie but like on his own. And then like the art team, in trying to fulfill that, one of the employees found another artist who was doing very similar kind of work and just like copied all their shit and turned it in as his own, right?
Ugh.
And that's probably kind of what happened, but we don't really know.
It calls everything into question.
But it calls everything into question. Like,
Yeah.
this was a game that was already like, people were like, we don't really know why this exists. We don't know why it exists in the form it does. We don't like how really, like, we don't really like just the whole thing, but like, it looks cool. I wish this was a different game that looked like this. And now the look is the biggest problem. Like, and they like, they're like, so Paul Tassi at Forbes, who does all the live service game coverage, he's like a Destiny guy. He's, he put out a big article that was saying like, according to his sources, like in within the studio, they are not even joking about delaying the game. They're not even like, they are not talking about delaying the game. They're not even like making jokes. The vibes are fucking rotten at the company. Like
What a
morale
mess.
is an absolute free fall. But yeah, they're like it really seems like they're sticking to their guns of September for release. And every single conversation they have about this game does not sound like a game that is coming out in September. It sounds like a game that is like don't forget, this last thing was not a beta. This wasn't like what FromSoft does with Souls games when they're like, we're going to do a network test just to see if like, the servers can handle it, and we might adjust some balancing of weapons and shit, right? No. Bungie's talking about that test that just happened like they are still actively developing the game. And now all of this other stuff that we know has to change.
But it is the kind of game that you keep developing when it releases, right? Like
it is. It is.
Like a,
it is.
an
But
extraction
it has to
shooter.
survive long enough to do that.
There's so much ill will,
Right?
though.
It has to like hit the ground running with a little bit of momentum, and now it will not.
Yeah.
It will not. This is
So it's not, people
as a
don't.
Cheesecake said, this is not the first Bungie plagiarism scandal. I mean, I will say, to be fair, like the team working on Marathon is like 900 people or something. Like, it's huge.
Oh my God.
It's huge. Like,
Yeah.
or
I heard Arc Raiders
that, or
is sick.
Bungie's entire development. Like, Bungie's a big studio. Like, hundreds and hundreds of people, like, working on now 2 games. They were working on a 3rd game, and Sony split that team off into a new studio. Like, so Bungie is just Destiny and Marathon at this point. It's not even that Destiny Rising thing that Tencent is developing. They're not even doing that, Like,
is this what people are saying? Arc Raiders versus Art Raiders?
Yeah. Art Raiders was a meme that popped up during that developer live stream. The whole chat was just Art Raiders and plagiarism will make me God. And like, dude, it was brutal to watch. It was like watching a fucking struggle session. It was fucking dark.
You gotta check out Arc Raiders, Krispy.
I tried to get in. They didn't give me a fucking code.
I tried to as well. I got fucked as well.
I really wanted to. Everyone was like, hey, this is actually really fun. And I was like, I love fun.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of fun.
I want to play Arc Raiders really bad, but also I think someone said Arc Raiders was using like AI for voice act. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, you're fucked.
The whole
You're fucked.
industry is fucked.
It's all thievery and plagiarism, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like this is bad. This is like I said before the show, if I'm Jim Cramer, I'm like double sell on Marathon right now, and
but Sony needs one of these.
Paying attention to the news over the next month very closely to decide if I need to spend $40 on dropping this game.
But yeah, just look. I got to be honest with you, Krispy. Maybe this can roll into my 4-player minute, my fantasy critic minute. You got a good chance at the crown. You need, and I'm telling you because I love the competition. I don't want to. I feel bad when I'm running away with it, and I got to be honest. You need to drop Marathon because I think you can win this year.
No, I know.
So hey, don't hold on to it. Don't. I know you love Bungie.
It's not this ain't like yeah, I know. You gotta. Discretion is the better part of valor sometimes, you know. But yeah, this is so sad. It's
fucked.
I am so fuck you for the week.
Fucking bummed by this.
Goes to. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I talk about Suikoden yet?
Yeah. This is my Suikoden.
Yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on the new Suikoden game, which looks really great, check out Trailer Talk on our archive. I don't know. My fuck you for the week goes to the 3 fantasy critic players who haven't bid on shit in the past 3 weeks. Or, I'm sorry, the past 5 fucking months. They have not picked up a game. I'm so tired of this shit. What the fuck, Nick?
Don't worry.
Bid on something. Honestly,
I'm waiting.
You're waiting for what, dude? You got so many slots. You don't need to wait for so many slots.
Here's the thing. I'm going to finally bid on something, and you're going to be like, what are you doing? Why are you bidding on that?
No. Look.
Watch it. Watch it happen.
I mean, I'm not going to say it. I mean, I've seen some questionable bids, but they're Chris Davis's. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I can't even mask it because Krispy's actively stealing from my other league, and Chris Davis is the only other person bidding, so I have to be referring to him.
You know, I was actually going to place a bid this week, and I was going to do it tonight, and then I remembered that tonight is Thursday. I was still thinking like it was Tuesday, and I was like, I still have 2 days to place the bid before the week is up, and then I got the notification in Discord saying that bids have closed for the week, and I was like, fuck, well, I guess it's not happening this week.
Krispy. Star Vaders is sitting at an 88. By the way, I submitted the review that moved it from an 86 to an 87, and the review that moved it from an 87 to an 88.
Well, thank you very much.
I want you to listen to me. No, it's not insider trading. You're just Open Critic sucks, and fantasy critic players are helping Open Critics not suck. It's actually surprising. I mean, it's actually funny. Anyways, Krispy, you have 1 slot left. 2 when you hopefully drop Marathon.
Yeah.
You have to make like when I'm telling you to drop Marathon, it's because I want you wearing that crown. You have to listen to me. You can't steal any more of my games. Hands off the shit on my other league's roster. You have to stop doing that. You have to find something else.
Okay.
Can we make an agreement?
All right. You know that I can't see your roster in that league, right? You know, I don't know how to find that.
You just because it is private. That part's private.
Yeah.
Or you just saw me talking about games?
I just saw you talking about them.
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself, Brad. You dumb bitch.
I like to discuss games over there.
I know. But now you got something to think about.
I'm getting sniped.
I'm everywhere.
I don't want to hear from you either. I don't want to hear from you.
Nothing to do all day, baby.
Brad's getting sniped in Fantasy Critic. I love it.
Ichi's the last person who should be talking. Mr. fucking Balatro from last year. He knows what he did. He knows. Did you grab Star Vaders too, you son of a bitch? It's so funny.
Is there anything else you would like to cover in your 4-player minute, Brad?
Fuck Konami. Fuck Mercury Steam.
You know what you did.
It's no Mercury Steam, whatever. Look. It's been a long time. They definitely ruined Castlevania, and fuck Konami for canceling Symphony of the Night 2, which is literally the game that Igarashi was working on. Anyways,
that's a wild. That's a wild.
It is a wild
choice.
thing. It is a wild thing. Anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Fuck Konami. Fuck you.
Enough said.
That's all.
All right, my 4-player minute. I'll keep it short. We were talking about Stellar Blade before the podcast during trailer talk and whatnot, right?
Gooner Games.
Gooner Games.
Nick's the biggest gooner of all.
Yeah, I mean that's probably accurate. I still don't know what that is, but whatever.
Come on.
I still just want to say Stellar Blade was one of my favorite games of that year, and I think it's fantastic. I still think more people should. I know if you just gotta look past the crassness of it a little bit, and the kind of the mechanics underneath, and the vibes and the music are pretty immaculate. I love it. But anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I just wanted to mention that the studio behind Stellar Blade confirmed this week in like a kind of a weird offhanded kind of strange way that Stellar Blade 2 is the next project they're working on. So it has a sequel coming. It was at least successful enough to guarantee that they're making a sequel. And to someone in chat earlier made a good point. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Dano. He said, the studio that made Stellar Blade, this was their first AAA project, and before that they were making mobile gacha games, right? And this is their first foray into AAA game development. So there's still a lot of room to improve. And as a first project in that space, it was a really impressive game. And I've said this many times before that
years and years
they were, but I say this a lot about kind of just the nature of the game industry, is that sequels, unlike the film industry or what have you, the sequels tend to be where things start to really improve a lot of the time. Think of Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
I'm just saying, if you look at the film industry, people like to talk about sequels as the inferior thing in a lot of cases, right? As just kind of sequels really have to prove themselves to earn the respect in the film industry, and it's kind of backwards a lot of times in the game industry, where it's the first game in the series is oftentimes kind of more of a proof of concept. It's a cool idea, but maybe they didn't have the funding or the confidence or whatever it may be to really deliver on it. So a lot of times when the sequel comes out, it ends up being oh my god, it's the potential kind of realized. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So I already loved Stellar Blade, but knowing this is they're now more comfortable working on AAA projects, and they were able to deliver on a project already that was really cool. I'm really excited to see what they do with the sequel. So that's all I got. That's it.
Problematic studio though. It's so funny that all your faves are problematic.
Dude, every fucking thing in the world that I love is problematic in some way, and I fucking hate it. But that is my curse, I guess.
Quote.
I mean, it is. It's fucking it's it's getting tired.
That Days Gone, motherfucker.
Fucking Days Gone, The Last of Us.
I get it, man. I'm with you. I mean, we all got it.
Harry Potter.
I'm a Twisted Metal fan. I'm a Twisted Metal fan.
No, you're just abused, Brad. You're abused because Sony won't give you a fucking Twisted Metal game like they should.
I'm gonna knock on some wood right now, but
I wanted that new one to come out just so I can make fun of it, and I didn't even get that. I didn't even get to have a bad Twisted Metal game that I can make fun of. It made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're getting season 2 of a TV show, so that must stab you just a little bit differently.
Am I? Is that coming out?
Anyways, that's our show tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, as always. Again, if you're new, please join us in Discord at discord.gg/4player. That is where we hang out as a community between episodes and talk about everything: games, music, movies, TV, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you in there. And You can also find all of our previous episodes on 4playernetwork.com or the podcast service of your choosing. We'd appreciate any subscriptions and reviews you may want to send our way. We appreciate you listening to the show. And every once in a while, people pop into our feedback channel and Discord, people that I've never met or heard from before, and just pop in to say, hey, they love the show and they've been listening for a long time. And that goes so far. It really makes me feel good about what we do. So I just want to say I want to send a shout out to everybody out there who listens faithfully and takes the time to do that. It means more than you know. And yeah, I'll end it there. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week to talk about more video games, probably on Tuesday, which is the normal spot. But in the meantime, everybody, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.